The name of this book is The Multicultural Legacy of the Roman Empire. My name is Dr. Rufus Jimerson. Again, the book is called The Multicultural Legacy of the Roman Empire. My book is at amazon.com/books. Okay, so you can look for that. The purpose of this book is to provide evidence that the conventional Western interpretation of the greatness of Rome is based on a discriminatory perception that excludes the non-whites involved. The history, media, and the theatrical images of Romans, their architects, politicians, and military heroes are projected as a white hegemony designed to reinforce notions of racial supremacy that did not exist beyond the last 500 years. The Roman Empire from antiquity through the Middle Ages, according to more objective and holistic evidence amassed prior to the European enslavement of Africans before the 15th century, reveal black Africans as the ruling class, the royals, the nobility, and the lords of Europe, people of Moorish lineage, black lineage, with inbred Africoid features were emperors, empress, generals, kings, queens, knights, soldiers, and sailors, philosophers, master teachers, literary figures, and church leaders, including saints, popes, and martyrs in a multiracial and multicultural Roman Empire. This is the multiracial legacy of the Roman Empire. All right? Keep that in mind, folks. This is the first European. The first European was black, okay? All right? And there's evidence to that respect. Check out realhistory.com. The original inhabitants of Rome appeared like these sisters right here, as you see. Okay? This is original inhabitant of Rome, right here, in this picture. Okay? This is the black ancestor of early Europeans. Looking at that evidence, all this is included in the book. This is the original inhabitant of Rome and of Europe. This is what they look like. There's archaeological evidence. You see the skulls and all that, and there is what they did is a recreation from the skeletal materials. Okay. This is one of the greatest generals in the history of the entire world. This is Hannibal of Carthage. He beat Rome for 15 years before having to go back to Carthage as Rome decided not to take him on and attack Carthage in northern Africa. This is Hannibal. This is a black, what you call history. He's black, but history channel on television, cable, presented this version of Hannibal to the outcry of many whites. A lot of whites cried foul. They do not see blacks having a history beyond slavery. All right? And it's unfortunate. That's very sad. All right. Okay, here is the map. It shows you in the blue is the possessions of the Carthage Empire, and in the red you see that of the Roman Empire, and they clashed over maritime concerns, trade and commerce, and led to war. And then it was 3 Punic Wars before Rome was able to sack Carthage. This is what the Romans did. They developed and they imposed it on Carthage. Imposed the scorched earth policy. You can see the scorched earth policy being imposed. It's been picked up by their predecessors in the West. Well, actually, the ones that preceded them, succeeded them in the West more than but succeeded them in the West. And we're talking about Western nations, Germanic nations, and that imposed that kind of scorched earth policy on Asia, Middle East, Africa, and America, on the indigenous populations. Here we see where all civilization came through and from is the Dongan tribe in Africa. They knew of nuclear fission, Big Bang Theory, the atomic theory, all of that, the molecules and all. So all this is included in the book. So more details in the book. Okay. A little water. All right. Here is where in Eastern Africa, Southeastern Africa, more South Central Africa, where the Egyptians actually came from and created the Kemet Empire, as well as the Carthaginians and the Phoenicians. All were brother Africans, all right, from South Central Africa, all right, and it's part of the culture. This is showing where it's located, where the land of Punt, the land of the gods, were located. Here is the Sphinx. This is evidence. Now they're able to do some more in-depth studies. Evidence that the Sphinx is more than 12,000 years. And so more than 12,000 years, Africans have had global rule, ruled the world in the ancient world and in antiquity. The Greece, Athens itself, was established by Senuseret the second, the founder of Greece, Pharaoh Senuseret of Kemet. He established Greece and taught, and he didn't do it, but he had master teachers teach the Greeks that were more like in the barbarian state the finer aspects of civilization. Now we also find, as we interpret the hieroglyphics and the graphs on the pyramids, evidence of tanks, submarines, helicopters used by our ancestors. Okay? So our ancestors used all these things. Nothing is new. And much of Western civilization is stolen from Africa, of course. Here we have the Vimanas. These are like flying devices. They look like spaceships almost. They're used in Black Rama. India's original inhabitants were black. They built a strong civilization, Rama Empire, and they related to the ancient Egyptians, and ancient Egyptians spread their culture all over the world. In fact, and the Rama Empire came from Egypt or Kemet, and they brought with them and developed flying machines. The Germans were aware that there was advanced technology in the African hegemony of the East, so they went to India and studied this is during World War II, the Vimanas and of the Black Rama ancestors to develop jets to use against the Allies. And we're talking about Allies America, the British, or the United Kingdom, and Russia in the World War II. All right. The Nazi Germans copied the jets from the ancestors and developed this jet, the first jets, as well as missiles too, and missile technology. The ancient Egyptians, the Kemets, they had developed electricity and lighting, and we have discovered that, and the evidence is in the book and discussed. The pyramids were power plants, and the layout of the pyramids as power plants is diagrammed in the book. This photo is given, is explained, etc. about the pyramids as power generators, and they generated energy for the core of the earth, done by our ancestors. Here you see it, the power generated at night. The pyramids used as power plants. Another recent discovery, they have found that among these pyramids and the various other structures left by our ancestors is evidence that Wi-Fi's, as depicted, were used by our ancestors, and you can see it depicted on the walls. Malcolm said this, and you can see that this destruction, I'll read it to you. There is no accident that such a high state of culture existed in Africa, and you and I know nothing about it. That's Malcolm X the Great. And last but not least of the particular features that I'm showing here, the postings here, overcoming mental slavery. Your ancestors are, these are images, are waiting for you to unlearn the lies taught to enslave your mind and remember your goodness within. Okay? So the book discusses all this. This is only part one of the book to give you some ideas of some of the images and some of the topics being discussed. This is in the multicultural legacy, the Roman Empire. And you got to remember that the Roman Empire grew, and they invaded ancient Egypt, was Kemet. They invaded the Middle East. They invaded Greece. all the known civilized world except uh, uh, Black Rama and China. They invaded mostly everything else that was civilized. And they went into Europe, and they confronted the barbarians, who were mostly Germanic people that came from Central Asia. More in the next two parts. Thank you very much. My name is Dr. Rufus Jimerson, Multicultural Legacy of the Roman Empire. Thank you.